This is my flipbook of John Brown. John Brown was born in a Calvinist household and would go on to have a large family of his own. Facing much financial difficulty throughout his life, he was also an ardent abolitionist who worked for the Underground Railroad and the League of Gileadites, among other endeavors. He believed in using violent means to end slavery, and with the intent of aspiring a slave insurrection, eventually led an unsuccessful raid on the Harper's Ferry Federal Armory. John Brown, born on May 9, 1800, in Torrington, Connecticut, to Ruth Mills and Owen Brown. Owen, who was a Calvinist and worked as a tanner, ardently believed that slavery was wrong. As a 12-year-old boy traveling through Michigan, Brown witnessed an enslaved African-American boy being beaten, which haunted him for years to come and informed his own abolitionism. The younger Brown initially studied to work in the ministry. He instead decided to take up his father's trade. Brown wed Lusk in 1820, and the couple had several children before her death in the early 1830s. He remarried in 1833, and he and his wife Mary Ann Day would have many more children. In 1858, Brown liberated a group of enslaved people from a Missouri homestead and helped guide them to freedom in Canada. It was also in Canada that Brown spoke of plans to form a free black community in the mountains of Maryland and Virginia. On the evening of October 16, 1859, Brown led 21 men on a raid in the Federal Armory of Harper's Ferry in Virginia, holding dozens of men hostage with the plan of inspiring a slave insurrection. Brown's forces held out for 2 days. They were eventually defeated by military forces led by Robert E. Lee. Many of Brown's men were killed, including 2 of his sons, and he was captured. Brown's cases went to trial quickly. In a speech to the court before his sentencing, Brown stated his actions to be just and God-sanctioned. Debate ensued over how Brown should be reviewed, deepening the divide between North and South and having profound implications for the direction of the country. Several of his colleagues also petitioned that courts should look at Brown's questionable mental state when it came to his actions. Brown worked in a number of vocations and moved around quite a bit from the 1820s to the 1850s, experiencing great financial difficulties. Brown also took part in the Underground Railroad, gave land to free African Americans, and eventually established the League of Gileadites, a group formed with intention of protecting black citizens from slave hunters. Brown met with renowned orator and abolitionist Frederick Douglass in 1847 in Springfield, Massachusetts. Then, in 1849, Brown moved and settled in the black community of North Elba, New York, which was created on land provided by philanthropist Gerrit Smith. Brown was executed on December 2nd, 1859.